My name is Belgrove Josiah, and I have the privilege of being a missionary pilot in training with AngelOne. The first time I remember being exposed to mission aviation in any way was when I was about 7 years old, sitting in my grandfather's living room watching a Christian TV channel. A small Schweitzer 300 two-seater helicopter came into the scene doing a rescue with a stretcher on the side of the helicopter's skid, and when it landed, a nurse came out and brought a patient out to the hospital. As a 7-year-old child, I remember saying, I want to do that when I grow up. Years went by, I completely forgot. I wanted to actually become a flight medic, doing medevac for commercial companies in the US. Doing that research, I decided, let me see what it's like to be a pilot. A couple days later, I was able to take an introductory flight in a helicopter and an airplane, fell in love with all of it and decided I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. One day after I made that decision, I was looking on YouTube and I actually saw that same video, the same little helicopter, the same scene, and I was like, what is that? I remember something about that. After doing more research, it was the same missionary organization. It's grown to a really amazing organization, PAMAS, Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services. I did some research and found that they needed pilots, and I felt the calling to become a missionary pilot. Some of the challenges I faced first was figuring out how to even get into aviation. I come from a family that is full of engineers and medical professionals. Nobody knew anything about aviation. I was going through a lot of frustration talking to God, not knowing where to start. And at a missionary conference, I ended up meeting Mr. Judd Wickwire, the director of AngelOne, and he shared with me the mission of AngelOne. And he said AngelOne is an organization that is there to help missionary pilots be trained and be fully prepared to be in the mission field, to help pilots who are actually still out in the mission field be able to have the mental support, spiritual support, financial support, and just organizational safety support. They have a program called Mind the Gap program that helps bridge the gap between pilots who have to get into debt training and never get out to the mission field. When I heard that, I knew that this was something I wanted to be a part of, because it's not just an organization that wants to get the work done, but it wants to keep the workers safe and healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. AngelOne has helped me by, one, providing me with encouragement when I was going through my private pilot's license, giving access to an aircraft for training. AngelOne provided an amazing training aircraft. It's a Cessna 172 Mike model. It has a 6-pack and a Garmin 430, which allows you to fly in visual references and also in instrument meteorological conditions. Another struggle that I faced after receiving my private pilot's license was the finances required for getting advanced training. AngelOne prepares a donation page for missionary pilots in training so that they can have the support from people who are willing to donate and be able to have a tax-deductible donation. That donation page I have used so many times for my fuel, for hangar fees, for training, for so many things that help me get ready for my missionary training. The other thing that AngelOne has helped me with is know what it means to be a missionary pilot. AngelOne has actually built up a conference called Elevate Conference, where a bunch of missionary pilots get to come together, hear stories, hear dreams, share passions, share struggles, and also build up the requirement of safety that we need to uphold as missionary pilots. When I finish my training, I'd love to serve anywhere where they need both helicopters and airplanes. I got into aviation because of helicopters, and I'd like to start working at PAMAS, Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services, to gain some experience there for a few years, and then hopefully find a place in South America or Central America where they need both aircraft to be able to give life-saving support to the people there. If I had any advice to give to someone who's interested in mission aviation, whether it be being a pilot, being a mechanic, being a nurse, a doctor, anybody in administration for mission aviation, I would say get on your knees, make sure that's something the Lord wants for you to do, then get up and walk forward. And no matter how hard it gets, remember the things that God has led you through in the past. The other thing I would say is contact AngelOne. Give them a call, talk to the advisors, talk to the pilots, and you will find a community that is willing to take your hand, carry you, lead you in the right direction, and ultimately, especially if you're a pilot, lead you to become one of the best, safest missionary pilots out there so that we can have Jesus come soon.